You stared at the woman in front of you in shock. What was your mother doing here? And how did she find you? She smiled maliciously at you, sending a chill down your spine. You looked at her in horror. You were frozen in fear. You couldn't move. You felt as if your feet were glued to the floor. You looked at Blitz, slowly putting the pieces together. I'm sorry, kid. You noticed that Blitz was tied up and saw that your mother was holding his Asmodean crystal. You realized that he had been captured. But where were Millie and Luna? Why weren't they brought back here as well? You asked your mother what she was doing here. Your question was met with a punch to the face. The impact sent you to the floor. You looked up again, breathing heavily. You could already feel your left eye swelling from your mother's powerful punch. You felt lightheaded, and your vision was out of focus. You tried to speak again, only to be interrupted with another punch, this time to your ribs. You heard a crack, and a wave of immense pain followed. You screamed. Does it hurt? Are you in pain? Your mother asked with a sneer. You couldn't answer. You were in too much pain. Talking and breathing seemed impossible. You were sure she had managed to break a rib. You tried to back away from her, but she was faster than you, and she kept hitting you again and again. Octavia's eyes widened with fear as she watched your mother continue to hurt you. Octavia and Stolas ran over to Blitz, who was still tied up. Blitz, what happened? Where is everyone? And who is that woman? She's here to kill them. But why? Why would she care about that? Blitz, what's going on? That's complicated. Tell us later. We don't have time for this. I have to get them out of there. Wait, Via, we have to be careful about this. Besides, I don't want to lose you. Not again. I know, Dad. I'll be careful, I promise. Just stay here and help Blitz, okay? Octavia, no! Stolas called after his daughter. But Octavia was determined to save you. She wanted to keep not only you, but also everyone else safe. She wanted to protect all of you. She knew that she might have the advantage since she still had her powers. She had been fortunate enough not to be stripped of her powers in addition to her royal status. Luckily, it was never made official that she was no longer a Goetian princess. We have to help her. She can't do this alone. Yeah, you're right. But would you mind untying me first? Though it wouldn't make much difference. What do you mean, Blitz? That woman took my gun and the crystal. Oh, that's all right. I'm sure Asmodeus won't mind giving you another one. That's not what I'm worried about. I can't fight without my weapons. Not if she has my gun as well as the crystal. Even if I wanted to help, I can't. And I'm afraid I've become useless without my powers. Damn it. If only I hadn't... Hey, Stolas. You are not useless. Not even without your powers. Blitz reassured Stolas. The two shared an affectionate kiss and smiled at each other. Meanwhile, Octavia approached your mother and stood in front of you protectively. Well, isn't this a pleasant surprise? The Goetian princess who gave up everything just to be with my little one. Silence! You will not hurt them. Not anymore. I won't allow it. Well, such a bold one, aren't you? I can see why they like you so much. Unfortunately, you don't get to make decisions regarding them. Only I can do that. Your mother used Blitz's gun to try and shoot at Octavia. She wasn't used to fighting against guns, and Octavia was barely able to dodge it at the last minute. Octavia! Stolas cried out as he watched his daughter battle against your mother. The woman laughed mockingly and continued to shoot at her. Octavia looked at her determinedly and stood at her ground. Your mother tried to attack her, but she jumped out of the way and moved you away, holding you in her arms. She looked at you worriedly, seeing that you were injured and in pain. I'm going to kill you both. That way you can die together. At least I'm generous. Octavia didn't falter, despite your mom's efforts to deter her. Octavia caught a glance at Blitz's Asmodean crystal, which your mother had somehow pinned to her arm. Suddenly, she had an idea. If the crystal really was the difference between whether or not she lost this fight, Then if she could get it back, she could stop your mother before she hurt anyone else. She quickly turned to you. Can you walk? Despite being in pain, you nodded. You had a feeling she had a plan. Run. Go with Blitz and my dad. I've got an idea. You nodded, then hesitated. The woman laughed again, and you heard another gunshot. Thankfully, the bullets missed. Octavia noticed that you still weren't moving. What are you doing? Go! Get to safety! Please! You didn't answer. You gazed into Octavia's eyes with love. Tears of happiness filled your eyes. There were so many things you wanted to tell Octavia, and yet... What's the matter? Why are you looking at me like that? Go, before it's too late. You shook your head, still smiling affectionately. You took her hand in yours, and you told her that you're not going anywhere, and that you would never leave her side again. You pulled her close to you, holding her in your arms. Octavia looked at you in utter shock. For a long moment, you looked into each other's eyes. Before Octavia could say anything, you leaned in and kissed her softly. At first, she was surprised, but then she kissed back, pulling you closer to her. Blitz and Stolas noticed and were shocked, but smirked. Well, would you look at that? Seems like I'm not the only one with the thing for him. Stolas teased with a chuckle. Blitz rolled his eyes in mock annoyance and gave Stolas a playful push, making Stolas laugh again. Oh, shut up, you. I suppose I shouldn't have freed you, my mischievous imp. You finally ended the kiss, pulling away slowly. You smiled at Octavia. A part of you was surprised at yourself. You never would have had the courage to do that before. You couldn't believe what you'd just done. Octavia looked just as shocked as you, if not more. For a moment, she was rendered speechless. You, all this time. You... Yet another gunshot was heard, and Octavia used her powers to shield you from the bullets. Octavia gave you a serious look as she urged you to run. You have to go! Now! Run! You nodded and stumbled your way to Blitz and Stolas. Blitz gave you a knowing look and smirked. You blushed and looked away shyly. Meanwhile, Octavia was still fighting your mother. You're not getting away with that easily, little one. As for you, do you really think that you stood a chance against me without your full powers? Guess you really shouldn't have given it all up for them. First, I knew what I was doing when I left the palace for them, and second, you're wrong. You failed to realize that I never gave up my powers. Octavia let out a cry as she jumped out at the woman. Your mom screamed in surprise at how strong Octavia was, even without her powers. Hey, get off me, you crazy bitch! Octavia fought her over the crystal. As the two tussled for it, the crystal activated a portal. What have you done? They cannot escape. Octavia didn't stop, despite your mother's screams. All of you, enter the portal, now. Blitz nodded, immediately understanding what she was about to do. Stolas made his way into the portal, and you jumped in after him. Octavia managed to take the crystal away from your mother. Blitz, catch! Octavia tossed the crystal at Blitz. He caught it, much to her relief. No! Don't you dare use that. Thank you, Octavia. See you never, bitch. Blitz said, flipping off your mother before descending into the portal with you and Stolas. The portal closed before the woman could catch them. The woman growled and turned to Octavia. You will pay for that. No one will take my little one away. They aren't yours anymore. They've made that choice and they don't belong to you. So fuck off. I will destroy you. I'd like to see you try. The woman began to manically shoot at Octavia as fast as she could, but Octavia was faster. She used her powers to keep the bullets from reaching her. You can never defeat me. You will never take them away from me. They aren't yours, so stop trying to chase after them. The woman continued to shoot at Octavia, but she ran out of bullets. She faltered for a second, and then remembered she also had Blitz's knife. Close combat is more damaging anyway. I'm going to kill you. The woman lunged at Octavia, brandishing the knife in her hand, but Octavia was prepared. She used her magic to take the knife out of the woman's hand and bring it to her. You will do no such thing. Now, I'm sure we can talk about this in a civil manner, right? After what you've done, you have no right to act as if anything you've done today was anywhere near civil. Now, hold on. Put the knife down, please. You don't really want to kill me, right? I should. And Lucifer knows I want to. But it wouldn't be right. And I am no assassin. Then, what are you going to do to me? Escort you off the property? Oh, well, that's less hostile than I expected. Hurry, girl! The woman screamed that she was launched through a portal outside with the help of Octavia's powers. Octavia smiled and breathed a sigh of relief. Well, that takes care of that problem. At last. I thought she'd never shut up. Now, to find the others. Meanwhile, you, Stolas, and Blitz landed on soft grass, now in a different part of the human realm. Well, I think that worked out pretty well. Everyone okay? Blitz, come quick. What's the problem? You okay? I'm fine, but it's not me you should be worried about. It's them. Oh no.